If you want to get the girl, then all you have to do is...
Welcome back, our avid anime addicts. Welcome back to another episode of
Anime Bunseki.
I'm Avi, filling in for Sair.
I'm Slow.
And of course, Spotter.
We are back with another episode of Enen no Shouboutai,
Otherwise known as Fire Force. Remember to follow along our episode reviews for Fire Force in our neatly organized playlist.
Fire Force Episode 6. Let's go!
The episode begins right where we left off, with Shinra standing outside of Princess Hibana's mansion. As Shinra bursts open the doors...
Well, I wouldn't exactly say burst open. It was more of a polite entry. Dude even said, "Pardon my intrusion."
Well, as Shinra politely entered, he starts thinking of it as an opportunity to see how well he would fare in a fight against a captain, as he expects to clash with Hibana. Reflecting on their previous encounter, Shinra notes that he needs to find a counter for Hibana's ability if he hopes to win.
Yeah, that last fight.
Sleep.
He didn't look too good. Shinra is interrupted as the 5th Angel's 3 block his path.
They had Shinra outnumbered. It was 3-on-1. Plus it was a group of women. Surely Shinra wouldn't.
Oh they got knocked the out. Shinra easily overpowers them without much of a fight.
We are transitioned to Iris being held captive by Hibana, as the captain begins an evil rant revealing bits of her past where she and Iris were the only survivors in a group of nuns, as the others spontaneously combusted while she manifested 3rd-generation abilities. Hibana now believes that she can only derive happiness from burning those lesser than herself and standing on them to rise higher.
Iris tries to rationalize with Hibana, saying that whatever she gains from her twisted actions cannot be considered a happiness. As their conversation reaches the boiling point, Shinra makes his grand entrance, saying the hero has arrived.
Iris doesn't seem to have much faith in Shinra, as she tells him to run and that he's no match for the captain.
I thought Iris was a nun. Where's her faith? Her hope? Her belief?
Shinra boldly steps forward, reassuring Iris that things aren't going to be like the last time.
As Hibana mocked Shinra, he rockets forward at the captain, charging full speed. But with just a glare from Hibana, he fell to the ground. And I totally understand. I get lightheaded from looking at Hibana too.
Well, it's actually Hibana's ability that causes Shinra to get lightheaded, heat syncope. By just looking at someone, Hibana can induce a heat wave that causes them to get disoriented.
So basically, Hibana makes you hot and bothered from just a stare.
Yeah, sure, let's go with that. So anyways, Hibana is literally kicking Shinra while he's down as she ridicules him for how easily he fainted after his grand entrance.
Disoriented and sweating, Shinra pulled himself to his feet as he begins to grasp Hibana's ability, saying the dizziness is all in his head. Impressed Shinra could still stand, Hibana points out that he's just trying to endure the effects while under the illusion that he's a hero.
Shinra responded saying compared to Lieutenant Hinawa's training, this was nothing. Hibana seemed to enjoy the fact that Shinra didn't go down too easy as she summoned a ring of fiery flowers, telling Iris to sit back and watch. At this pivotal moment, Shinra reveals his true intentions. He's not just a regular hero, dubbing himself the deluded lady wake-up call, man.
Wow, that's so lame. The Psycho Slayer would have been such a better hero name. Hibana attacks, pelting Shinra with her fiery flowers. Shinra charges forward, but he is once again affected by her ability, and like a drunk NASCAR driver, he went full speed into a wall.
Hibana relished the opportunity to jeer Shinra as she summoned a huge sakura tree made of fire and lit with blossoms that burned skin on contact. Shinra grimaced in pain as the blossoms swarmed him. Iris pleads with Hibana to stop, But Hibana had no intentions of relenting, holding to her twisted ideals that no God exists and the only salvation to be had is the money and success from exploiting others.
Iris tries to remind Hibana of her past as a nun, and this is where Hibana's character really starts to develop, beyond just a crazy psycho. As she reflects on her past at the Covenant, we get her perspective of the traumatic experiences that shaped her grim outlook of the world.
In a flashback, we see a young group of nuns, all orphans, diligent in prayer. Amidst them is a younger Hibana, as she believes that they all devoted themselves to God. But she was the only one that didn't take it seriously, and yet the other nuns all spontaneously combusted, all except Hibana and Iris. This caused Hibana to denounce her beliefs as a nun.
As Shinra struggled to his feet, he sympathized with Hibana, realizing that her actions and beliefs are a result of her being a victim of the flame. Shinra, having tragic past experiences with fire himself, understands and reaches out to Hibana. But Hibana countered with Petal Blizzard, and it's super effective! Stating that he won't back down for Hibana's own sake, Shinra powers through not only the blizzard of burning petals, but also the disorienting heat syncope. Charging forward, he promised to wake Hibana from her delusion with... Shinra hit Hibana so hard, her life flashed before her eyes, and we got to see everything.
A younger Hibana at the Covenant is showing off her pyrokinesis to the other nuns, creating flowers from her fire. She adds different compounds to the flames, changing their colors. A younger Iris is sheepishly watching while hiding when Hibana sees her and calls her forward. As Iris looks at the flowers in amazement, an older nun comes forward and Hibana then gets scolded for playing with her pyrokinesis. The nuns are told to gather for prayer. Hibana and Iris are headed to the chapel when Iris asks if she could see Hibana's flowers again, and Hibana promised to show her only if she overcame her shyness.
And this is when the event occurred that would scar Hibana, sending her down a dark path. I guess you could say she went down the dark side of the fire force. Get it? Get it?
Sigh. Is this what Sire has to go through? Hibana believes her ability is not to be a divine gift, but powers of the devil. As she embraces this mindset, she walks away from Iris, and we briefly see her rise in status as she exploits for money and power, selling her research to Hajima Industries.
As the flashback ends, Hibana regained consciousness. She found her head resting in Iris's lap as Shinra protected them from the remaining petals with his jacket.
Hibana asked why, and Iris responded saying because Hibana was the hero at the Covenant that all the other nuns looked up to.
It was either Shinra knocked all the crazy out of her, or she was humbled by defeat, but Hibana laid in self-pity, saying she had nothing. Shinra stood in response, saying she has him as a hero.
As Hibana blushed, she admitted her surrender, and Iris took the opportunity to ask Hibana to show her flowers as promise for overcoming her shyness.
Back on the outside, gunshots rung out, and members of the 5th Company laid battered and defeated on the ground. Hibana questions how she's going to explain all of this to the higher-ups. Captain Obi had planned to make it all seem like a joint exercise between the two companies, but Shinra and the others charged in before the plan could be set into action.
And that's when Iris sparked an idea. The 5th and 8th Company should have a dinner party.
A dinner party? Really? That has to be one of the dumbest ideas I have ever...
Princess Hibana agreed to the dinner party.
Nani?
Hibana believed it would be a good way to cover the entire event as a training drill and asked Shinra to get the rest of the 8th Company.
Shinra was a bit surprised to see Hibana being so cooperative, to which Hibana stated that she had taken a liking to Shinra. That's right, guys. If you want to get the girl, then all you have to do is...
Sigh.
Back at the 8th Company, Captain Obi informs his superiors that their investigation of the 5th Company had begun. As Obi ends the call, he gathers his equipment and radios Lieutenant Hinawa, only to find out that the investigation was already over.
And the episode ends, which is kind of a bummer because I really wanted to see Captain Obi in action.
Be sure to check back with us next week for another episode, and remember, It doesn't have to end here. Continue discussing on Twitter with us, or consider checking out our Patreon page.
Thanks for watching, guys! If you made it to the end, why not leave a like and subscribe? Please comment and let us know if you enjoyed this and what other anime is currently on your watch list. All our links are in the description. Until next time, guys!